Hey guys, this is Brienne with TwinFlameUnionWithin.com. So I felt guided I've never done this before, but I've been feeling guided to make a video doing a card reading. So this will be my first time. I have not opened the decks yet, since this morning, but they're both inside of the boxes. I've not shuffled or anything. I'm going to shuffle with you guys here. Um, So my favorite deck is the Angels of Abundance by Doreen Virtue, and I've been moving through a lot of financial blocks recently. Even like not financially related. Like I just really love this deck. I love the pictures, and it's just my favorite. And then the Everyday Miracles, A Course in Miracles. Like these are really good cards. They just have like little quotes and things on them. So yeah, I'm going to open the deck up and we're just going to do a reading together. I'll probably pull like 4 cards. I'm going to shuffle them with you guys here. Remember, this is my first time to do this, so we're just going to see what happens. Remember when it took me a while to learn how to shuffle? I used to shuffle it like when you're playing a card game, like what are they called? I don't know. The cards with the cards that you used to play Go Fish and things like that. I don't remember what they're called, but I used to shuffle my decks like that, and they're bigger and they're bulky, so it didn't really work out too well. So I learned how to shuffle. And I looked up a YouTube video on how to shuffle the cards because I couldn't do it. I was a newbie to all of this. So I've just shuffled the deck, set it here, and we're going to pull 4 cards, and I'm just going to go with what is on my heart, what I feel the card is communicating in the message. You may resonate with my message. You may pull out a different message for yourself, but yeah, just follow your heart and we'll just see what happens. So the first card is Quiet Retreat, and I'll show you the card. It says it's time to disconnect from the outer world so that you can discern and process your true thoughts and feelings from your inner world. Create this quiet time for yourself and you'll have more clarity about what to do next. And it looks like a woman, an angel with there's a lot of pink and there's some doves. So I'll put that. Hopefully that's pretty clear for you to see as well. Yeah, so what do I gather from this card? Yeah, it feels like for me, the journey is all about following your heart, manifesting. When you're manifesting, your life purpose, your harmonious twin flame union, that all comes from you following your heart. And it's very easy to get distracted with your outer reality. And when you get, I've noticed this with myself too, like when I get too distracted with what's going on around me, I tend to leave that place of clarity and peace. Not really leave it, but it's exactly what the card says. Like just disconnecting from your outer reality. Like you can do that in like meditations. Like you can really just go within and be with yourself, like be in your heart space and really feel, where is God guiding me next? What is my next step? What is my next move? And financially, this is actually really perfect for me because recently, like I said, I've been working through financial blocks, and one of my upsets was like scared to look at my bank account because I have this fear that when I look at it, there's going to be less in there than there was before. And I've had this pattern like for years. Like anytime I could have $20,000 in the bank, but if it dropped down to like 19,000, I'd freak out. And then say if it went up to 22,000, and then dropped down to 20,000, I'd freak out. Like this pattern of not feeling that I have enough or that something's going to happen. So because I would feed into that pattern, I never had enough, right? And I've healed through a lot of that. But still, for me, like God keeps guiding me to really structure my finances that way. Because if I'm not looking at it, if I'm avoiding it, I'm leaking my energy. And truly, it's a place that is calling to be loved, right? My finances. And so when I love that and I move through my upsets with anything in regards to my finances, when I love myself in those places, I'm helping that foundation, stabilizing that foundation. And I'm really loving that area of my life so that it can bloom, right? And I can increase my abundance from that place rather than avoiding it and having all this fear and not looking at the fear. Because if you're not looking at the fear and the upsets, that's leaking the energy, right? So you've got to look at it. So for me, this means many things, and it's just really being with myself to know what my next step is. Just having balance in your life, right? Like life can get busy sometimes, and it's very important to have that balance. So, yeah. And the pink on the card, it feels very gentle. Yeah, just being very gentle with yourself as you're moving through anything. So we'll go on to the next card. Okay, the next card is visualize abundance in all forms. And there's more pink on this card. God gave you such great spiritual power that everything you visualize eventually becomes reality. Hold a steady vision of that which is beautiful, healthful, positive, and filled with blessings. And that is what you will experience. Okay. Get that to where you guys can see it. There's more pink on this card. Yeah, so what I'm gathering from this is, like it's easy to fall into that lack consciousness, like what I was just speaking to, like that pattern that I've healed a lot through, but there's still some there of fearing to look at my bank account. And I was thinking I need to mirror that because I thought, and if you know the mirror exercise, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When I said that fear to look at my bank account, it's actually a fear to look at myself. So, I choose to love myself there, and I choose to pay attention to myself. So in divine truth, like we lack nothing. If you're experiencing poverty in your life in any way whatsoever, it's only because you believe in poverty. Some part of you believes that a part of you is that you lack, right? Because poverty consciousness is not real, but it is real if you believe and you give power to the illusion of that. And I feel like this card is really communicating to holding a vision of your truth. And your truth is you're abundant, you're wealthy, in love in all areas of your life. And so it's really not giving power to that illusion of lack and loving yourself in those places that do feel that lack. And as you do that, you naturally increase your abundance. Yeah, so just hold a steady vision, stay positive, love yourself through anything that comes up in regards to your abundance, your finances, in any area of your life. And remember too that your outer reality is a direct reflection of what is within you. And so if you're not experiencing a flow of abundance in your life, then you know that there's a place inside. You're not experiencing that flow within you too. And something also like my spiritual teachers, Jeff and Shalia, they recently did a video on poverty, and something Jeff said that really stood out to me was that there's two reasons you're going to experience lack of abundance in your life, and one of those was because you have an energy of taking, right? Like you, and I feel like for me, speaking to, yeah, like I don't necessarily know if that's taking because I don't know if I've experienced the taking side of things, but I can say that I've experienced the second one, which Jeff said, if you have a block to giving, yeah, that was the other. And so that's something that I'm continuously moving through is that, yeah, just being in touch with that desire to give, because something that I've had to heal is I was always a people pleaser. And in that people pleasing, like for me, that felt like I was giving like all the time. And I always felt, like there wasn't anything coming in. So it was just me outputting energy. And so that's something that I'm healing and finding balance in that. I'm learning to give from that place of peace and from where it feels good. And so, yeah, it's more just for me, like finding balance in that. And so I don't remember where I'm going with this. I forgot what the card. Yeah, so just hold a steady vision of your truth and that you are abundant, and heal through anytime like lack thoughts, and you'll catch them. As you continue to master this, right? Like, let's say if you're desiring to get something and then you have a thought pop up and it's like, oh, but I can't afford that, or oh, I got to save, for you. You might want to look at that, right? And now, yeah, logically, you want to you want to ensure that you're buying things out of, you're really loving yourself in that place. If you're just buying things, and this is something that I had to heal too. So for the longest time, I had a pattern because I worked at a factory, so I made pretty good money, and I had a pattern of always buying things just to fill an empty spot in my heart because I was unhappy. So I would always buy the latest cell phone. I would trade my cars in frequently. I was always buying new clothes, new shoes, like all kinds of stuff. And so I was just buying to fill an empty place in my heart. And as I've healed that, like I don't desire to trade things off like I did so often then, right? Because it was like a newness feel, like I would trade it off and or get the new thing, and then I'd have this high, and then I'd quickly crash from the high. It wasn't sustainable because I was trying to fill it with something externally. But yeah, you just really want to sit with yourself in your heart and get clear on, why am I spending this? What is the purpose in it? Is it going to serve me? Something really good too that just popped in my mind. Another student in front of mine, Amanda Marie, she's she's an expert with finances. And something that she said in a class one time was that always ask yourself, is God guiding you to make that purchase? Like, only make purchases as God guides you to, and then you know that you're always in alignment with whatever you're getting. And so that's just a little key piece to throw in there too. So yeah, go on to the next card. Okay, release jealousy. Jealousy is an affirmation that you don't have something, and the universe manifests exactly as you affirm. Let other people's successes inspire rather than frustrate you. If they have it, so can you. Okay, let me show you that card. Hopefully that glare is not too. Yeah, so release jealousy. This is perfect because yeah, like if you what this says to me is like, when you look around at those in your reality and you see that they are really thriving financially or in whatever way, not to look at them and to compare yourself and be hard on yourself, because if they can have it, you can have it too. And really, what you can do is you can look at them and you can admire and you can claim that for yourself. Well, I choose and I claim that, and know that that's for you. And it's so perfect what this card says, because, yeah, you're a powerful creator. Like, you co create with God. And if you are believing that someone has something that you don't, and you're like, well, that's not fair, the universe is going to mirror that back to you, and you're not going to have, right? And you don't want that, so you make a new choice, and you know that you can choose and claim. You can choose and claim your abundance. You are a wealthy child in God. Like, heaven on earth is not poor; it's rich and vibrant and abundant and healthy in all ways, and that is including you. If you're here watching this video, well, you didn't create yourself. God created you. So that goes for you too. So yeah, don't compare yourself. See if there's anything else that I get from this card. Yeah, and if you have any feelings of frustration come up, just love yourself there and know that you're just being guided deeper. And as you love yourself, you magnetize to you what you desire. That feels complete. Let's do one more. Take a divinely guided chance. All positive change and successful ventures involve a degree of risk, and you are ready to follow your divine guidance to new territories. As you leave behind that which is comfortable and familiar but no longer appropriate for you, you make room for new and more meaningful opportunities. This card is beautiful. It has a little boy and a little girl. And you can see they're looking at, I'm not really sure what that little thing is, but they're looking in amazement and wonder. It feels like a very innocent card. Yeah, like they're not attached to anything. They're just oh, I didn't even see that. There's two little cherubs. I don't even know if you can see that in the camera. Right here. There's two little cherubs. And they're like, there we go. You barely see it. But I've never even noticed that before. That's really sweet. Oh, they're all over the place. I pulled this card several times before, but I never noticed that. Okay, so yeah, there's all kinds of cherubs. To me, this card is really speaking to innocence and really trusting where your heart is guiding you. And something that popped into my mind as I was reading this card to you guys is when back in 2018, I believe it was. Yeah, the beginning of 2018. The factory that I worked at, I could really feel that through doing my inner work, I could feel that God was guiding me out of that environment. And I knew that there was layoffs that were getting ready to happen, because they lay off pretty frequently, like every year. It's due to orders, and then you go back, and then they lay you off again, and you go back. But so I knew in my heart that when I was getting laid off, I knew that I was never going to return again. But I was also very scared because I have a home, I have a car, I have bills, like and there I was receiving a steady paycheck. But I also, too, when you get laid off, you receive unemployment. So I knew that would carry me through for a while to get my coaching business established. So this was a divinely guided chance for me. Like, this was really me taking a leap of faith. When they laid me off, I was drawing my unemployment, and this was probably March of 2018, I got laid off. And I set up my website. I got everything established, and I started offering services. And I think my unemployment ran out within like 2 months. And they called back, and I was so nervous that morning when they called me, because I knew that, I'd been there for 11 years, and I knew, okay, I'm severing ties. I'm severing a relationship with this job that I've had and the seniority that I've attained and that vacation. And I'm going out on a limb here, but I trust in my heart. And in doing so, God's provided for me ever since. I now live my life purpose as a coach. I create my own schedule. I am thriving. I'm very happy. Like, I feel free. And my life has only gotten better as a result of leaving that environment, leaving that vibration. And so, yeah, it's just really, this card is speaking to me, just like a child in their innocence. Like, they don't care. Like, most of them, you're fearful, right? When you think about when you were really little, like, you didn't care. You just did things. You just played. You had fun. You didn't worry about, well, I mean, for me, like, once I got to a certain age, I started having like family upsets and things like that. But when I was a really little girl, I didn't think about things of like, am I going to have, you don't have bills, right? You don't think about things like that. Now, some of you may, but for me, I didn't have to. So it's really just, it's really being at peace with your innocence. And God is your parent. God supports you. God provides for you. And you only have to give your gift, and you're supported in giving that. And that will require you to take a divinely guided chance at times. And it may look like it's going to be a complete mess, but you just trust your heart. It requires trust. Like the twin flame journey, your life purpose journey, they're the same thing. It's the same exact thing, but whatever angle you're coming at it from, you always want to follow your heart and take that leap. And God's not going to throw you into it. Like, I knew that I was vibrating out of my job months before it happened. They even they laid some people off underneath me. And so I was like number 6 in the plant. And that put me in one of the worst jobs in the plant. It was, I worked in a hot factory. Like, we wore uniforms, respirators. It was a lead facility, cadmium. Like, those are cancer-causing agents. And so I was put in one of the worst places in the factory. And I knew that God was giving me contrast, because I spent 6 weeks back there. And in that contrast, I knew that I meant, God put me there, and I manifested that to know that, yes, when they call me back, I'm not coming back, because that's what I would be going back to. And when I was there in that department, it was in January, and it was 80 degrees in there. And it was like outside, it was like 20, 30 degrees. So in the summertime, it was like up into the hundreds, up to 120, because the department was so hot. And I thought, I'm going to croak back here if I have to come back in the summertime. So I was incredibly thankful that God guided me out of that situation. God knows what's best for you. So you can feel in your heart, if you're being guided to take a divinely guided chance, and you're listening to these words right now, then trust your heart. And there's a reason that this message is for you. So, okay, we're going to pull one more card out of the Everyday Miracles deck. This will be the last card. And we'll just take whatever's on the top. And I usually just shuffle until it feels good to stop. One more time. All right. So this says, into his presence would I enter now. Into his presence would I enter now. And then the back says, you can refuse to enter, but you cannot bar the door that Christ holds open. Come unto me who holds it open for you. For while I live, it cannot be shut, and I live forever. I feel like this is so beautiful. And here's the back of the card. Yeah, but this is so beautiful because I feel like this is just speaking to the last card that I pulled and like taking a divinely guided chance. Yeah, like God will continuously open doors for you. And every single door that God opens for you, it may look sketchy. It may look completely sketchy. But if your heart is guiding you to go through that door, you better go through that door, because your good is through that door. And so God is clearly communicating here that you can refuse to enter that door. You can, because you have freedom of choice, right? But God says, but you cannot bar the door that Christ holds open. God's going to hold that door open for you. You can stand at the threshold of it as long as you like, but God will not shut that door. Come unto me who holds it open for you. For while I live, it cannot be shut, and I live forever. So God is clearly communicating to you that, and me, that God's very patient. God's going to hold that door open for you. And it's kind of a trolly too, because God says, come unto me who holds it open for you, for while I live, it cannot be shut, and I live forever. Ha, like God's basically telling you, like, you have to go through the door. If you're going to wait, like, God's going to wait on you. So just walk through the door. Yeah, that feels really good. I think that's such a perfect card for the last card that I just pulled for you guys and for me. Yeah, so that feels really good. So if you're watching this video and you know, take what feels good to you and leave the rest. But in a nutshell, if you're being guided to walk through a door right now, it's very clear that God is communicating to whoever's watching this, including myself, that to walk through the door. And you're safe in walking through the door. And I can attest to that, because I've taken many leaps of faith. For one, quitting my job and doing what I do now. And many of my friends in the school, in the group, you know, other coaches, they've done the same thing. We've all taken divinely guided chances, and our lives have completely changed as a result. And you're no exception to that. Like, this is for you too. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to hold these up. I know that you can't really see them, but some people like colors, right? And the colors may speak to you. The colors may give you a different message. But yeah, I just wanted to share those with you and show you one more time. So yeah, well, this felt really good. This is my very first time to do this. And I actually feel like it's probably a better way too, because there's a lot to share there. But yeah, so maybe I'll start doing this more often, but with different decks, like whenever I feel guided to. But I hope that you receive something from this message, from this reading. And thank you very much for watching. And I will be back soon with more. Bye-bye.